Welcome along to Dive Bomb, and this is F2. We're on rounds 9 and 10 in the championship. Time does fly by here this season, and we've got two amazing rounds coming up for you. We head to the Ardennes Forest, and of course we head to Monza. But first of all, we go to Monza to start things off. I would need to change the stream title, but I don't have access to the channel on my browser, so I won't be able to do that. So we're going to be starting off with short qualifying and the 35% race around Monza. But before we go, let's look at the wheel then to decide what the weather is going to be. So there's one weather slot each for qualifying, one for the race, for each race of course. And we haven't had any wet races for a while, so it could be interesting. But in qualifying, we've done all our wet qualifying. So that's done. We don't need to worry about it. So we're going to spin the wheel now for qualifying. I'm doing this quickly because we want to get started. It's not going to make much of a difference anyway for Monza, but it is light cloud for qualifying. So light cloud for qualifying. I'm going to save it so I don't have to worry about it later. And then we go to the race. And you can see there's one wet option available. Could it happen tonight? We're going to have to wait and see. Let's spin. Well, it's not going to happen at Monza. It's going to be overcast for Monza. So there you go. That is the weather then for the both qualifying. Oh, well, not both qualifying and race, but it's going to be a dry session, a dry Monza. So hopefully the drivers will ready up soon. I'm going to be saving the combinations because we'll have 3 combinations left, you see. Ignore the dates, because obviously we are at the 10th of June now because we had to miss 1 week due to a lack of turnout. But we are starting at Monza, then we got Belgium, then we got Singapore, and then we got Abu Dhabi. So the drivers have been told to ready up. So race 1, 35% race with short qualifying safety car on. Race 2, 25% race with 1 short qualifying safety car off. Top 14 in every race scored championship points. And we got a qualifying rule for race 1. Now, since it's dry for both sessions in race 1, the drivers that qualify in the top 5 must start the Grand Prix on the compound they set their quickest lap on. So if they qualify using the soft tyres, they have to start the race on the soft tyres. And a track around Monza, I can't remember because I have not done a 35% race around Monza in such a long time. So this is going to be, I think, a little bit of the unknown. And I have not been on the channel. I have not been on Dive Bomb F1 for a long time. So welcome for those of you that don't know me. My name is Jess, also known as Jess Games 95. Of course, I'll be racing in Dive Bomb F1 starting in a few weeks' time, which is going to be exciting. So I'll be swapping the mic into the cockpit again, which should be fun and great to see quite a few of you in watching and lurking in the chat already. It'll be good for you all to get involved. So without further ado, let's go in to set qualifying, and it's probably the highest turnout we've got all season. We've got 15 drivers, which is great to see. And a little bit of circuit history then. It's the oldest circuit on the Formula 1 calendar. It's dated back to 1922. Races have been held here, and it is the largest city park in Europe. And of course, Monza is the home of Tifosi. For those of you that don't know, the original circuit layout was 10 kilometres long, include the 5.5 kilometre road section, and it also had a speed bank over in the 1950s. And you can actually still race it on iRacing, which honestly I think is pretty cool. So that is the best thing about it. And there are quite a few circuits around Italy, and Monza is one of them. And the tyre wear softs, they don't last long around here. So good luck if they would want to qualify as much as they can. So here we go then. Who's going to be the first driver on a lap. Let me get my telemetry on because I'm solo tonight, as per usual, for the penultimate week of the season. Apologies I wasn't here last week. I was seeing Legally Blonde last week, and I wouldn't have made it back in time. So yes, I was not here, but thank you to Lewis for filling in for me. Absolute legend. And of course, he's racing in the McLaren for DBF1, so there you go. Okay, you can race in Formula Legends as well. I might try that game. I heard it's like a fun, casual game to play. That's good, Jordan. That's very good. So I do see an Aston Martin out on a lap time. It's Deck. So, yeah, it is Deck. So we'll run on board with him. So this will be the final 2 week on the 25 cars. Of course, the DLC has already been released, but we still have to be committed and finish off the season. So that's what we're going to do. So here we go then. Here's a lap then around the Monza circuit. You'll be in 8th gear. You'll be reaching speeds of around 340 kilometers an hour. You're going to reach for your braking point around 100 meters before the corner. And you're going to brake hard, downshift into 2nd gear, aim for those curbs. Nicely done from Deck there. And try and avoid some of the sausage curve as it could damage your front wing or suspension. Aim for the right-hand side through curb at Grande. And interestingly, he goes in the middle as he heads towards turn number 4. I'm trying to remember what the corners are, but we've got the first of the 2 Lesmos coming up. Aim for the right then. A little bit of a lift, and then a tiny bit of a lift again. Well, not a bit of lift, a little bit of a braking. You can tell there's some bits where I'm not with it. DRS wide open. Of course, the 4th, the last time that the drivers will be using DRS. It'll be all straight line mode in about 3 weeks' time when Dive Bomb F1 starts. He passed Ascari, which he seems to be managing quite well. The last time we were here, was it Dive Bomb F1? And guess who got pole? I did. I got pole. Yes, it was a one-shot qualifying that we did, where we all had different slots and all that stuff. So yeah, I could brag about getting pole. There you go. And that's a decent lap from Deck so far. A 1:19.829. We've still got a few people to set lap time. We've got, I think, one of the Mercedes. That's Jake on an out lap. Okay, never mind. We got Jordan in the Lesmo. And then we got Jack Craig, who slots himself into P3. We got Dan's teammate coming across the line, Scottish Goat. He slots himself, where does he slot himself? P5, so I'm guessing he's going to go again because he aborted that one. Right, Kaya. Kaya is a naughty boy. Kaya, you're very, very naughty because he has been disqualified for blocking the pit lane. Naughty, naughty, naughty. Naughty. But we still got a lot of work to do. Some of the drivers still on the track. Dash is still in the pit lane. And whilst we wait for more people to set lap times, I did have somewhere the championship standings, which I'll get on my laptop. So we'll get that up for you right now. There we go. So we've got Jacob, the man who's sitting in P10 at the moment. He is on 115 points. So we got Deck in second at 109. Quite close for the two of them. Dash in third on 90. Abu fourth on 79. Dan P. Wilnut on 69. Scottish Go on 66. Chris Johnson on 64. Cam Moore is not here tonight on 63. John on 56. Chris W. is not here tonight on 51. And vice versa. So that is your order then. So it will be next across the line. I think one of the Williams are going into the pit lane, so it could be one of the Hasses. Yes, Abu is about to finish off his lap time. He's hardly got much ERS to use, but to be honest, that's what I would probably do as well around Monza. 1:19.1. That's faster than what I could do around Monza. I need to figure out what my time, but it was definitely lower than that by I think about 2/10. I'm trying to remember what I did in Dive Bomb F1. When we were last here. I'm probably going to hear myself, so hold on, can I just mute the tab? Yes, I can mute the tab. So the fastest time is a 1:19.1 already. So let me look what time I set in dive bomb last season. Yeah, it's already faster than my pole time. Because I did a 1:19.2. That's embarrassing for me that Abu's already faster than what I did last season in a higher tier. So, there you go. It shows that he's fast enough to be in Dive Bomb F1 next season, which he is going to be for when we go to the 26 cars. Here comes his teammate, though. Still got plenty of ERS to use through the second Lesmo. Has managed the ERS quite well, so he's got a bit of a bank lap. Oh, that wasn't good as he went wide through the first Lesmo. Past the second Lesmo he goes. Burns the battery then. Through the DRS straight. Yes, I think this could be a banker lap for Jacob. Of course, you can go full power hit. You have to do a bit more lifting. Oh, Jacob has had a spin in a scurry. Quite a few people could get caught out in a scurry, so that's not ideal. Not ideal at all for Jacob. So he is going to go in to the pit lane to set his lap time. Now, on my dashboard, it doesn't say if who's purple or not, which is very, very annoying. Guess who we got joining us again for a while as a bit of a warm-up for next season? Ivan, welcome back, my friend. He is back in DBF2, which is very, very great to see. Jacob has retired from the session, so he's not going to set a lap time. Interestingly, your championship leader has decided to not do qualifying. Well, at least he can start on whatever time he wants, though. And we're going to keep an eye on people's qualifying laps, because it could be a very close qualifying time here. And if you haven't already, please make sure you click the subscribe button. We're about 10 subscribers away from hitting the big 100. So please do. That will be much appreciated. I will tell you the Constructors' Championship in just a moment. It would help if I get the tyres, because then I can see who's definitely on lap times. So we got Dan who's on mediums. Of course, some people want to say some soft for the race. But again, speaking from experience at 50% races, they don't last long. And last time it was a 50% race in Dive Bomb F1 because of how short it was. It was basically a night full of racing. Dan is 3 temps up on the mediums. So that will put him a 1:19.6. Now don't forget, the top 5 have to start on the tyres they qualify on. And if he could get to the top 5 on a set of the medium tyres, this could put into good stead because those mediums can last quite a bit of time. So Dan goes up to the line. This is looking already a very good lap time. And it is a good lap time. A 1:19.5 for the Ferrari driver. We've got Jack Craig on a lap next. He takes the shortest run to the line. And it is at P4 for him. And of course, the 26 livery Red Bull will be shown next season. It does look actually quite nice. So everybody, most people are on their second runs. Quite a few people actually have invalidated their runs. So Chris Johnson, I don't think, we'll see if he improves. The times will update for me if he improves. He's on hot lap mode though. The optimal in these 25 cars is running medium and then overtake. So hopefully he will get used to that at some point. We know with the 26 cars, from speaking to a lot of drivers, that the battery management is important. So if they're not good at battery management on the 25 cars, imagine what they're going to be in the 26 cars. So we got Chris Johnson. He's going to flip the car for a scurry. Nicely done. Some people may not be confident using the curves. We'll see if he has enough battery. He's actually going to get a bit of a tow from the Red Bull driver. And down this back straight, this could be very crucial for the Williams. Through into the Parabolica bend or the Alberetta corner, but I don't like it calling the Alberetta corner. I like it calling the Parabolica. 1:20.0 for Chris Johnson, which puts him in the top 5 for now. As it stands. So we've got Abu in P1 at the moment. Dan in second. Deck in third. Scottish Goat has invalidated his run. but he sits in fourth for the moment, and Chris Johnson in fifth. Jack not that far behind in sixth place. Quite a few people want to do some laps on the mediums, including this man, Jordan. He comes across the line, and he improves to sixth place. Let's hope he has a spare set of mediums for the 35% race. And yeah, Jacob did crash. So he must have crashed when I did not see him on stream, which is a bit frustrating. Jake, by the way, cost himself, put himself, up into P4 right now. So great job from him in the Mercedes. Still about 3 cars yet to see a lap time. Of course, Kaya got disqualified because he blocked the pit lane. So he's going to be starting right from the back of the grid. So Abu, thinks that he's confident that he's going to get pole, so he's retired the car. But will he regret it? Will other people improve, including this man, Deck, who's on a run. Ivan's on a run at the moment too. Ivan is, I think, just heading towards turn 1 now. We'll watch Deck make his way through first. Again, he's using hot lap as well, but he's not using it every overtake for a bit of it. Lets the curb nicely. Kicks a bit of gravel though, which is going to cost him some lap time. A bit of a swerve through the first Lesmo. So that things that he could have improved on a little bit. DRS wide open. I would have burned a little bit more battery through there, but when you run through it in medium, it would probably be a bit easier for him. Through into Ascari. Nicely done. Tries to do all he can to keep to the right-hand side. Now moves over to the left in 8th gear. And downshift into 4th. Now up into 5th. Take the shortest one to the line for Deck. And he goes into the pits. He's not happy with that. I don't know where he would have put him, but I think it looked like from my thingy that he wasn't too happy with it. But anyway, we've got Ivan on a lap now, who is invalidated, so he's going to dive it in into the pit lane. Yes, I agree, Casper, in the chat. Hot lap is just not the way to go. And I haven't done much on the 2060 LC, but I believe it's not the way to go in those cars either. So yeah, you just avoid hot lap. Whatever you do, just avoid it, because you just burn just so much battery. So yeah, that's why it's going to be like in 26 as well. So if they use hot lap in 26, oh god, they're going to be in a bit of trouble. So Ivan will make it. Oh no, but he's not going into the pit lane. Okay, so Dan's going to try and do a lap on the soft tyres. I think this could be a tidy lap from Dan if he can get it together. So as it stands, the top 5 will set their best lap time on the soft, so they would qualify. Yeah, bin hot lap mode. I agree, Casper. I agree 1,000,001%. Let's just say that. And I'll still need to get used to the battery mode on the 2060 LC. But luckily I've got a race next week in another league. That will give me some motivation just to get used to that. So I'll be fine. I will be fine. So let us know your predictions in the chat on who you think is going to get pole position here this afternoon. Well, not this afternoon, this evening. Will it be our league owner, Jack Craig, who's closing at 8th right now? He's still got a bit of time to find us. Oh my goodness, Dash. A 1:18.8 on mediums. Oh, that is quicker than what I could do. I wouldn't imagine won't be that far off Casper's fastest lap time around Monza in general on soft. So that is impressive for Dash there. I wonder if Abu regretted not doing a lap there earlier on. We do have 2 minutes and 20 seconds left to go of this qualifying session. I thought Abu was going to keep pole position, but boy was I wrong. Boy was I wrong in that scenario. Scottish Goat, of course, who has done quite well in terms of getting many points. He's currently sitting behind his teammate. Only by a few points, though. By 3 points. He would love it if he closes up to his teammate. But it's going to be, I think, a tall order if he could do it. Yeah. Casper, I can't even do an 18 on softs. So, yeah, that is embarrassing for me. Yeah, I can't do 18s on softs. But anyway, here we go. Final lap set in qualifying. Who is made of the right stuff today? Of course, they won't have to worry about the wet weather. I think we got final laps being done by a lot of our drivers. Scottish Goat being one of them. So let's change it to the tyres. There we go. So those are the tyres of what everybody's on right now. And we've got Dan on an out lap. I'm just trying to see who's on the middle there run to. Jordan's about to head towards turn 1. Jack Craig is going through turn 3. Quite a lot of people are actually starting our laps at the same time. Ivan, unfortunately, is can't finish his lap time. So that's his day done. So let's stay on board with Scottish Goat. He's half a tenth up. You can still find a bit more time. Hasn't got much battery to play with. And yeah, I agree. The 2025 cars do look weird after seeing the 2026 cars in game in for quite a lot. He's purple sector 2 Scottish Goat, but he did not have the best of Scary there. So, and he got a bit of a toe from the Aston Martin. Because some cars in F1 26 look so much different. And of course the cars look a lot smaller. So, Scottish Goat goes up to the line. 119.7, that is very impressive from the Scottish Goat. We do have Deck, who's through the second Lesmo. Tidy. Then we got the 2 Red Bulls. Jack Craig goes into the pits. Jordan, 4th place for him. Next, we got the Williams of Fergus. Can only manage 12th. We just got Dan. Jake can't do anything, but he can start on whatever tire he wants to, so that's fine. As Dan is unable to improve, unfortunately. But he's going to stay in the top 5, and I do believe if he does not improve, yep, he's 1.5 seconds down. He will be starting, I'll get the best tyres up actually, he will be starting on the mediums. So will Dash. So 2 out of the 5 drivers will be starting on mediums. And Deck goes in 3rd. So, your pole man will be Dash, 118.8. Abu second, 119.1. 3rd, Deck, 119.4. Dan, 4th, 119.5. And Jordan, 5th, with a 119.7. And we will see if that makes a difference come the race. Quite a few drivers were not able to improve on their lap times, which could make things quite difficult for them if they want to avoid the carnage. I'm just going to double check if I retweeted the tweet. I have retweeted the tweet. And to be honest, Monaco looks a lot better in the 26 cars in game. They really do. So I'll run through your order then before we go into the race. So we've got Dash in P1, Abu P2, Deck P3, Dan P4, Jordan P5, Scottish Goat P6. So that's your top 5. So Abu, Deck, and Jordan will have to start on softs. Dan and Deck and Dash will have to start on mediums. Then we got everyone else has to start on whatever tyre they want to. So Scottish Goat, Jake, Chris Johnson, Jack. Sarango, I was a bit shocked with him with his qualifying session. And we got James, Fergus, Ivan, and obviously Jacob that crashed, and Kaya, who got disqualified. So we are about to get going then for the main 35% race. And don't forget, safety car will be on. And we know with safety cars being on in Monza, it could cause a bit of chaos. So watch your space. get your predictions on who you think is going to be the victor, who you think is going to surprise us. And the race, this is with a 50% race, is 153.36 kilometres. The circuit length, 5.793 kilometres, 3.599 miles. Monza's been on the calendar for a very long time. Of course, Dan and Scottish Goat, who are in the Ferrari, they would want to do well for their home crowd at Tifosi. The Tifosi would love to see their favourite on the podium here today. And imagine what it's going to be like in real life as well, because we will have the 2 Ferraris and Kimi Antonelli. So, who are they going to favour? Probably, I would say the 2 Ferraris, because, of course, it's Tifosi at the end of the day. Imagine if we have Kimi Antonelli and the 2 Ferraris on the podium. The Italians will go absolutely crazy. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to Monza. And in real life, of course, we are at the European leg of the F1 season coming up this weekend. And the first time will be called the Barcelona-Catalunya Grand Prix, not the Spanish Grand Prix. Interesting fact, and if you didn't know that, then you learnt something new from me, eh? So we'll see when we are about to get ready. My Discord is playing up a little bit. And, yeah. Good job I pointed it out on stream. 3 people have breached qualifying times because they did beat the DBF1 pole time from last season. Me. So there you go. So, oh no, that was Silverstone. That was Silverstone. Never mind. No, not Monza. Okay, I don't know what the breach time was for, what do you call it? Monza. But yeah, it was Silverstone and Austria. So, yeah. So, if they have some people, if they carry on to have those strikes, then they will not be in the running for the championship. So they will still be allowed to race, but they won't have a chance for championship. So, yes. Yes, Dash, your Monza time was too quick. But, obviously, I can't tell you what the time was around Belgium. And the drivers have been told to ready up, so we should be getting underway shortly. Good to see you with us here around Monza. And this could be a short race, but annoyingly, I might be jinxing myself here. So we'll go back to the gameplay scene. As you can see, a little bit of a light cloud overcast Monza. The track temperatures will be a lot cooler for the drivers, and it will be easier to manage. Oh my goodness! I had my cursor on my telemetry dashboard, so that's probably why. So here we go then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights for the 4th to last round of DBF2 is a go. Let's see who gets a good start. It's pretty even towards T1, but Dash makes a good getaway on those medium tyres as they make their way through. And it looks like it's clean from the front lot, past that sausage curb. And I think it looks like to be clean overall, so fair play for everybody. Dash already pulling quite a bit as Deck makes his way past Daniel, because obviously Deck's on the soft tyres, but those softs won't last long. Albie trying to get through on the inside. So it's one of the Mercedes J trying to get past. But no can do there. Sarango running a bit wide. Chris Johnson almost joining a little bit unsafely there, which wouldn't have been ideal. Side by side for the first Lesmo between Jack Craig and Sarango. So one of them almost being pushed off wide there. But I think they're A-okay. So far for the majority of it, being all right. It will be interesting to see how the tyre downs can make the difference here, as they all follow this train. This DRS train is going to be absolutely massive for a while. So for some people, they may want to pit early for a cheeky undercut. Let me get my telemetry on so I can enable and see how they manage. Abu's doing well to keep within and manage the ERS effectively. He was on none for a little bit, so he'll probably go on none in towards turn number 1. Deck, though, is burning a bit of battery. But Abu covers them off really well. You've got to be winning a few attempts, just like Gamer James. There's going to be 2 or 3 wide towards turn number 1 near the back there. As Kaya tried to go around the outside. Oh, it's Ivan and Chris Johnson having a bit of a moment there. There was polystyrene, well, a lot of brake marker boards being thrown there. That is not ideal. I think obviously both drivers should have left, I think, a lot more space. So I think they're going to have a talking to a little bit later on. But Dan looking quite close on deck with the DRS. And Abu's going to try and get past Dash, but he can't do so. Dan get through on deck. So I wonder if the softs are starting to die down already. To be fair, though, I'm looking at Abu's tyres. His rear is already on 13%, but his front's doing quite decently. So that's what Abu has got to manage over Dan. Because they have the same tyre life on the front, but the rears is what they got to control. That's where they start to slide a bit more around this track once they start to wear. So they got to manage their throttle effectively. Abu tries to go down the inside towards turn 1, becomes the outside towards turn 2. Dan could try and take the advantage there if these two have a mess up through Curva Grande. Dash tries to take a different line. Fergus got a penalty, but let's draw our attention to the front lot as Dash takes the lead. Well, keeps the lead, sorry, from Abu. Some great defending there from Dash. And Dan could have taken advantage there, but he is staying with them right now. And he's saving well on the battery as well, 87%. So he can try and flip and do the overtake if he can. Even with DRS, he is trying to do what he can. He lifted a little bit there just so he doesn't go into each other, and that will allow more chance and more patience to go for the overtake. You can see Dan is running lower wings. I would imagine a lot of these drivers will be running 0-0 wings here. But for some DBS2 drivers, they'll be running, I think, a bit higher wings. I wouldn't, because otherwise it will be like a boat. And you do not want to run like a boat here. No, 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 my friend. As Abu unfortunately couldn't get Dash this time around. He's going to try, I think, some more attempt on that one. There's a bit of a love tap between Dark Shadow and Gamer James. But I think they're doing okay. I don't think they've got damage. No, they don't got damage. Sarango currently sets the fastest lap of the race so far. Oh, Abu's gone off. Made a bit of contact with Dash, it looks like. Made a mistake. And now he's lost a few places. So, yeah, he does not like those softs one bit. And Jordan's going to say, hello, mister. You made that mistake. I'm going to try and get you. And look at me. I've got more ERS to play with as well. Because Jordan's on about 92%. Abu's only on 30%. So he could use this opportunity to try and burn the battery once we get towards the start-finish straight. But with everybody, apart from Dash, with DRS, well, Dash is out of DRS now. Everyone apart from Dan on DRS, it's going to make things quite difficult for him. But I think it's going to be easy pickings for the Red Bull driver. He's got all the straight line speed in the world. And he's got that battery that he needs. And he doesn't even need to use medium. Through goes Jordan, but he's a little bit late on the brakes and he has a bit of a spin. So now, unfortunately, that was it would have been a disaster for him. So Jordan's down into 9th place. So he had all the battery in the world, but he lost a bit of time. And quite common situation will be speeding in a pit lane for some people. And Sarango has got that penalty. So that is not ideal at all if your name is Sarango. He's going to go onto the hard tyres. What will other drivers be thinking of doing very soon? If I was Deck, I would be worried because you want to chase down Dan, but Dan's on those mediums and could be really trying to close up on Dash. Those two on mediums have the upper hand right now. But with Deck and Abu, disadvantages after starting on softs, they got a lot of work to do. But they might have the early advantages of the undercut. So they might think about pitting soon. And they take the shortest run once more. Scottish Goat on the mediums. He can take advantage here. He hasn't not got much battery to play with either, so he can't do it. Jordan, understandably, pit early. So he's going to go off those soft tyres. And what tyres does he go on to next? He goes on to the hard compounder tyres for Jordan. So I wonder if that's the right time for him. We will see, because we know the hards. Most tyres don't last long here, but we will see if that makes a difference. And who knows if there's a safety car that can hinder him a bit. You lose less time under a safety car. But the one on mediums could stretch you a little bit. Jacob doing an interesting strategy because he started on the hard compounder tyre. He passed Jake. So maybe the harder side to come into fruition now. He's right on the back of Scottish Go. That's going to make the medium runners a little bit worried. There's a bit of sliding already there for Scottish Go. And we'll see what Jacob could do. I think he's saying a bit of battery. That he was saying a bit of battery. We've got Deck and Jack coming into the pit lane. So Deck is going on to Hearts, and so is Jack. Oh, what have I done? As Scottish Goat does get past Abu. So, yep, those softs are just not to be given a time of day. Whereas, the two teammates are collided. The two teammates collided. Scottish Goat has got it looked like it was an instant penalty there. So the two Haas teammates are at civil war. And this is absolute disaster if you are the two Haas drivers. But good news if you're Dash and Dan, because you see other people just cause absolute chaos. So I wonder if that's going to be looked at in the stewards room a little bit later on. I will not be surprised if that happens. But with plenty of this race still to go, anything could happen. As Dash goes into the pit lane, Dan stays out. Abu comes into the pits, understandably. His tyres, he was on 55% on the rears, which I honestly, I would not be able to cope with. Now 65. Now that is interesting. This took it a while for me to update here. So hardcore powder tyres with Abu. So let's watch Deck. Deck's one of the leading bunch here, and he didn't lose time. He didn't get caught up in drama. Where's his teammate? They're going to go side by side towards T1. And, of course, Dash had the pace. And Dash is one run wide. Dash is one wide. And that has allowed Deck to overtake Dash. And Deck now takes the net race lead of this Grand Prix. Because, of course, Dash's tyres still yet to warm up. Whereas Deck's tyres are nice and warm and nice and toasty. Jordan, by the way, setting the purple first sector on those new fresh set of hard tyres. 26.464 for Jordan. He's been on those hard tyres for 2 laps now. And he's making good pace. Actually, Jack, I have to say, I am very impressed with Jack's pace right now. Of course, Jack's... Oh, Ivor's out of the race. Ivan has retired in the pit lane. And he's left the session. Okay. Honestly, I wouldn't have done that if I were you. But there you go. So, Dan, Scottish Go, and Jake have gone into the pit lane. But with that huge undercut, that has helped the two Aston Martins. But Dan's going to try and get through on Dash. Dash did get past Det then. And with all of them on the same compound of tyre now, this could be even Stevens. And it's all about how you manage those tyres effectively now. So we'll see what they could do. And honestly, this is going to be, I think, very, very exciting. So watch this space. I'm trying to play around with my headphone settings so I can actually hear myself in my headphones now, which I think is very cool. So just Jacob still yet to pit. Everyone has done at least one stop, and the gap, as you can see, is coming down quite a bit. And we know the pit lane loss of time around here is a bit smaller compared to other circuits. As we start lap 11 now. There could be DRS chicken for all we know, but Dan could take advantage with low wings. He doesn't even need to use much DRS here. This could be good towards the end of the race, I think. I'll probably ask him, I think, very soon about what level of wings was he running. If he was running 0-0, then fair play, because I think Dash is definitely running low wings here. You could tell. Because no one was running overtake that lap, because Dash's light was flashing, which means he was saving battery, and so was Dan. So, I think Dash definitely is a boat on a straight. And the thing I like about Dan is Dan is patient. He knows that he doesn't have to go for moves every which way. He picks the right time to go for a move, which I think works him well. He always does well around Italian race, of course. A few seasons ago in Dive Bomb F1, he won in Imola, that was it. And I'm trying to remember if Imola's on the Dive Bomb F1 calendar, but I'm not entirely sure on that one. Jacob goes in into the pit lane. So Jacob is going to be going in for his stop. And interestingly, of course, he goes onto the mediums, which, I mean, it's going to be a bit of a tall order because we know how quickly the mediums do go off. I thought he would have stayed on to the hard tyres for a little bit longer, but we'll see. So everyone is pitted now, so we will run through your order. Dash is leading, Dan in second, Deck third. Abu and Scottish Go got that penalty, but will they question that in the steward's room? Jake, though, in sixth. Not anymore, as he's passed by Jacob. But he'll probably be very patient the next few laps. Or maybe, actually, no, the next 5 laps, because we know the mediums won't last long. So Jake's probably done the smartest thing to let Jacob pass. And we got the 2 Red Bulls working in tandem. The 2 Red Bulls have pretty even pace right now. And this is one of those tracks where it's very crucial to have your teammate nearby. And that's what they're doing quite well at the moment. I'm quite surprised that we only got 1 retirement so far, touch wood. And let's hope we keep it that way, because I don't want any more retirements. And knowing me, I would pull off the greatest commentator's curse in history. But we'll say, Abby just set the fast lap of the Grand Prix. James has got a penalty. And the most common thing around this track is, of course, penalties too. So that's going to be a lot of work, let's just say that. No one is going for moves just yet. I thought Jake would have been a little bit closer, but again, he is playing things a lot smart as we head to the final stages of the race. Abby wasn't looking very confident in Sector 1, but the Sector 2 and his Sector 3 were very nice. They were purple, so a lot of things to work on. 5 drivers out of the ones running have got penalties at the moment. And of course, the Lesmo's easier to get penalties. We did see one of the Red Bulls running a bit wide there. Let's just hope for their sake that wouldn't have given them a warning. But a warning didn't pop up on my screen, which is always a good thing. And there were plenty of upgrades over the 80s and 90s. And I think they changed things quite a lot around this track in 2001 when there was a death of a marshal. And who died as a result of a tyre fly from Hightower, Frenson's Jordan. Yes, I remember the smallest of detail about certain races. And who remembers Daniel Ricciardo winning McLaren's first race in a while? Pierre Gasly winning a race. Sebastian Vettel winning his first ever race around here. In a Toro Rosso, for goodness sake. But yeah, plenty of fun memories around Monza as Sarango gets past Gamer James. Of course, we won't look at the Kick Sauber for much longer. After this race, we'll have 3 more races where we can see this. And then we move on to the Audi. I'm just trying to remember. Let me get the DBF1 Twitter out. Who's in the Audi for Dive Bomb F1 this season? It's Cam and Abu. So there you go. So they'll be in the Audi this next season. Lucky them. And we have Tony and Cam who also will be in the Cadillac. So we'll see the Cadillac for the first time. And we will have 22 cars, hopefully. Fingers crossed. I think we are still looking for one more driver, though, to sign up for DBF1. All abilities are welcome. So if you're interested, follow Sports DBTV on X if you want to be involved as we start DBF1 in a couple of weeks' time on the brand new DLC. You will need a DLC in order to take part in it, as Deck has got past Abu. Of course, Deck is going to benefit with no penalty, but he's going to fight and pretend that Abu's penalty was unfair. Side by side through the Lesmo. Abu trying to go for the move. That was nicely done. That was nicely done from Abu. And we can see, I think, Dash and Dan going side by side. And as we head towards the end of the race, the action is kicking off here at the moment, as Dan is now your race leader. But for how much longer? Dash maybe has done this tactically to try and maybe get past soon. These drivers could be playing it smart here as we head to the end. And they have not got long left to do it. Not got long left at all. And Dash has saved plenty of battery. That's probably what he's done. And Dash does take the lead. Det tries and goes for the move once again on Abu. And Jacobs lost a bit of time due to staying out for a little bit longer. And he's not gaining on these guys as much as we would have liked at the moment. And Jack Craig is pitting. He must have got some damage of some sort. But he's going onto the soft tyres, so he's going to try and get the fastest lap. Which I do believe that there's points, but correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, you can get points, I believe, for fastest lap. So that's what Jack Craig is going to try and do. Who knows? We could get a safety car and we could see multiple people try and go on a set of the soft tyres. But so far, most of them are keeping it relatively clean and not dangerous for it to bring out a safety car. I have to say, Dan is very impressing me on this pace around Monza. Keeping up with the big guns, keeping up with people like Dash. Beating Abu as well, but Abu, to be fair, making quite a few mistakes here. Deck Right on the back of these, if I was Deck, I would play it very smart as we head towards turn number 1 now. Lap 16. Uses a decent amount of curb there. There's quite a few drivers that could gain from people's penalties. By the way, I'm just looking. There are 3 drivers that are warning free at the moment. They've got no warnings, no penalties. One of them is Dash. One of them is Jordan. And one of them is Jack Craig. Interestingly enough, 2 of the Red Bulls, no warnings. Dash, no warnings. And well done to Jake, to be fair, who's only got 1. Everyone else has got either 2 warnings or has already picked up a penalty. Naughty, naughty. Very naughty. This could make or break people's races. As Jack Craig does get past Gamer James, Jacob does get past his teammate. Hopefully we won't see Haas's civil war going on, because that will be an absolute disaster, let's just say that. And Scottish Goat going to try and take advantage of this. Here goes one, and there was a spin from one of the Haas's again. This is not going good for Abu. But could this go the way of Scottish Goat? He's hardly got much battery. Well, Jacob's got hardly much battery to use, as Abu's out of the race. So that is his game over for him. But Scottish Goat's pace is looking very good right now. Faster than Jacob in the last lap. Jacob's has decided to give up the ghost. So maybe he should have stayed on the hards for potentially a bit longer, but that could have costed him time with the overcut. So maybe starting on the mediums for some drivers would have probably been a better idea. Obviously, Jacob starting near the back of the grid. So Scottish Goat going to try and go for attempt number 2. He saved quite enough battery to still close into Jacob. So yeah, Jacob's tyres has definitely gone. Definitely gone. Meanwhile, Dan's going to try and go for the move around the outside, but I think that would have been a bit too early, because otherwise he would have no DRS to play with. He's going to play it smart then. Attempt 1. Is he going to just stay behind? In this case, I would have, because he's got a chasing deck behind him as well. Dan round the outside in towards T1. Leaves the space. Oh, Dan having a half spin. So did Dash. And Dash has now dropped down into 3rd place. So now it's a Dan and Dex shootout for the win, but I think it's safely going to go in the way of Dan, unless obviously we have any stewards inquiries based on that. But yeah, that was... Again, honestly, I'm not a steward, so I can't really judge on it, but there was not much space being left at all. So that was an absolute disaster for Dash. He's going to lose out on a chunk of points. And it's good news for your deck, because you can close in on your teammate in the championship. Well, not close in, well, increase the gap, obviously. And obviously, Deck's going to gain on Jacob as well. So we will find out your standings after, obviously, we had this lap, and we will go through the results. But we still got one more lap to go, and a Deck is catching. But Dan's got the younger tyres, and I think he's got the battery to play with as well. So surely the win could be his. But Deck does have the DRS. He's got one more lap to do it. Can he do it? In towards turn number 1. Gonna be harder than we thought. You can't afford to make that much mistakes in these crucial phases of the race. You've got to save the battery in as many places as you can now. In the heavy braking zones, go into none. In towards turn 4. Both of them keeping it steady. The next overtaking opportunity will be just before Ascari, and that's where Deck would have the DRS. He's got to have a good exit here. Dan gets a good exit. Deck doesn't gain a good exit as we would have liked. And he has hardly got that much battery either. I think if he had a better exit, he could have got Dan. Both of them going through into a scurry now. There's still a few more corners to go. Deck could still have a chance, but I doubt it. Both of these drivers having 2 warnings now at the moment. But Daniel has had some good pace throughout Monza. Showed that he had the speed, around the temple of speed. The race win belongs to the Tifosi. Dan wins. Deck second, Jacob third. Oh no, Dash third due to Jacob's penalty, but it could be revoked, I don't know. So we've got Dash third, Jacob fourth, Jordan fifth for now. Scottish Goat sixth, Jake seventh, Sarango eighth, and will Jack get the fastest lap? Who's got the fastest lap so far? Nope, it's not him. He would have needed to gain a few tenths, but unfortunately, not. Actually, he might do it, because do you get a fastest lap even if you DNF? I don't think so. So I think he might be all right. But we'll see. So we're still waiting for a few more drivers to come across the line. So we've got Chris Johnson in 11th. Fergus comes across the line in P12. And everyone who finishes score points, there you go. That's an incentive to finish because you'll score points. I think Kai has run out of fuel. Yes, he has run out of fuel. Because he is ghosted. So, and he's run out of fuel quite badly for Kaya. So that was your Monza race. I'm interested to hear your thoughts in at the chat. And we will keep the podium celebrations going for a few moments because, of course, the Fosi will be glad to have their home hero in P1 at the top, at Monza. And then surely right now, of course, the Italian national anthem would be blazing through the grandstands. And wouldn't that be amazing? And I think Dash and Dan might have collided, but it was hard to tell from my camera angle. Again, it would be up to the stewards if they... It will obviously be up to the drivers if they want to investigate it or not. But we'll see. So race winner, Dan Wilnut. Fastest lap, Abu. Driver of the day, Jacob. And most overtakes. And cleanest driver, unsurprisingly, belongs to Jordan. So well done, Jordan. So there are your results. We've got Dan, Deck, Dash, Jacob, Jordan, Scottish Goat, Jake, Jack, Craig, Sarangos, and James, your top 10. We've got Chris Johnson, Fergus, your top 12. And Dark Shadow, your final finisher. Your retirements are Abu and Ivan. So that was your results there. Quite a close one between the top two. And we are going to be taking about a short break because I need to rest my voice, to be fair. So I will see you very soon where we will spin the wheel for race 2 around Belgium. Will we have a wet Belgium race like it commonly is around Belgium? We'll find out. So I'll see you in about 5 to 7 minutes. So, hello everyone, welcome back to Dive Bomb. This is F2, this is round number 10 around Belgium. We've still got 3 more rounds to go. So we've got 2 more rounds next week, one more round tonight. And of course, plenty of drivers have been knocked out of championship contention after this very race. So, we will see what happens for what the weather's going to be. Of course, it's going to be a bit of an anticlimax for qualifying because I think we're probably going to guess it's going to be, oh, it is obviously going to be dry in qualifying. So let's get qualifying out the way in terms of the weather here, ladies and gentlemen. Overcast, there we go. So we got overcast. I'm just going to note this down actually. So, yeah, I've got it on my other side. So we got overcast. So we will have 2 more options going into the qualifying in the next 2 rounds next week. And let's move on to the race then. Let's spin. And the race is going to be clear. So it's going to be, so we had dry sessions all the way around. So there you go. So overcast, my words tonight, oh my goodness. So we got overcast, quali clear in the race. And that's unexpected because it usually tends to rain in the Ardennes Forest, but not tonight. Not tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We are not going to have a wet Belgium, which honestly I have gutted. I am absolutely gutted that we're not going to have a wet Belgium, but that is unfortunately where the cookie crumbles. So the drivers have been told to ready up so we could get going very shortly. A reminder, 25% race, 1-shot qualifying, and no safety car. So we're going to see the true pace of these drivers, and we will tell you a little bit about the Belgium circuit. If you want a little bit more information, it used to be a longer circuit. It used to be a 14.9 kilometre circuit built in 1921. It used public roads between the towns of Francorchamps, Malmedy and Stabilo. And then the track was redeveloped back in 1979, and the new circuit was only half the original length, which is obviously still the longest on the current calendar, 7.001 kilometres. So racing returned to Spa in 1947, and it held around the inaugural F1 World Championship back in 1950. And then it hosted annually each year until 1957. And then the increased price of fuel led to a lack of funds for the race to be held. And then in 1958, the race returned. So it only missed 1 race. Sorry about the burp. Only missed 1 race. So like I said, quite a few changes that was made. And the Master Kink, well, there were huge accidents there, so they had to change quite a bit. And who remembers the 1998 Belgian Grand Prix, where it was absolute chaos in the rain? Unfortunately, of course, we're not going to get here today. I would go and talk about all the history, crazy. And Jordan is predicting that he thinks he's going to get a podium. Nice confidence there, Jordan. I absolutely love it. So, who are we going to go on board with? Let's go on board with... let's stay with Sarango. Why not? Because I can't be bothered to change the camera angle. So, let's get a lap data up. There we go. So, through in towards Eau Rouge for the first time. Flat out, 8th gear. He has kicked a bit of the grass there, so that could have cost him lap time. Burns the battery to around about, well, the ideal burning of the battery would be to around 50%. Oh, as he's hit the wall. Quite a few people hit the wall there. So let's go on board with our current pole sitter, Dan. Interestingly, some people have not done qualifying. That might be investigated by the stewards if they not done qualifying on purpose, but if they're invalidated, then fair enough. So Dan makes his way through in towards Piron. A little bit of an understeery corner. Flips a car in 7th gear. Jacob's still on pole at the moment. Of course, Dan, who won last time out in Monza, is looking to win a second time here today around Spa. Of course, the qualifying rule starting on the tyre you qualified on is not there for race 2. So that's absolutely fine. But you can, I do think you can do soft medium around here. I can't remember. I literally can't remember. Even though I did a 25% race around here a couple of weeks ago. Quite a few of them, actually. Most of them in the wet. But anyway, saying off topic, let's go on topic, shall we, Jessica? But anyway, Dan goes up to the line, and it's going to be a 43.3. Right, okay, we are... Right, I think... Right, Cameron has just told me that we're restarting qualifying. I think. Are we? Are we restarting qualifying? I don't know. Cam, don't lie to me. We're not restarting qualifying, I don't think. So there's your order then. We've got Dan, Abu, Jacob, Jordan, Jake, Dark Shadow, and that's your order. Not many people had time to put up their setup. Let me just check, because I'm confused. Are we restarting qualifying or not? So let me just check then. Let me just check just to be sure, because I do not want to commentate on the 5 red lights and then end up being a restart. So I will double check for you. I've just had an X, so I think we're restarting. Yeah, we are restarting. Okay. That means we get to commentate on a demolition derby here, ladies and gentlemen. I want to commentate for the fun of it. Why not? We never get this chance again. Because some idiot readied up too early. And I'm keen to find out who readied up early. Naughty. So the 5 red lights, but it's probably not going to mean anything because I think people are going to crash. Hopefully, remember, people will crash. Come on. And it's going to be, I think, a momentous shunted towards T1. There we go. Hopefully, people will, hopefully people will realise that we've got a lobby restart. So if you are watching this, please do retire. And please don't take long with it. Just do it. Just Kaya, just retire, please. There you go. There you go. So yeah, I had fun commentating on a lap and then someone ruining it for readying up too early. I'm keen to find out who it was. Does this mean we spin the wheel again? No. James, I'm not spinning the wheel again because I already deleted the instances. And I can't be asked to get it back. So we're keeping the weather as it is. Yeah, I'm just reading the Discord chat. Yeah, I'm liking how the guilty party that ready up early is staying quiet. Unless they say anything, it strongly suggests that they're the culprits. Honestly, Jack, no one's going to own up in terms of quality, but yeah. I don't think anyone's going to own up, to be honest. So we're going to have to redo qualifying. which is a bit frustrating, but hopefully we are going to end up keep restarting until people get the memo that they just can't ready up. Simple as. It's a shame that, of course, hold on, let me change scenes. There we go. It's a shame that commentators can't see who readied up now. Because that'll be so much easier game. It'll be lovely to have a feature where you could just because commentators used to be able to see people readying, like who readying up early. But now we can't. Not on the last few games at least. That means I could. Shall I carry on giving you all a history lesson? I could. Yeah, we are doing qualifying again. Yes, Sylvian. Yes, we are doing qualifying again. Because some idiot thinks that readying up is cool, but it's not. So there you go. It wastes our time otherwise. But yeah. So one-shot qualifying it is. Oh, I do not look. I accidentally did a print screen. And if anyone readies up too early when they get to one-shot qualifying, honestly, I'm gonna cry. And I'm honestly gonna just keep reminding people until they just like follow the rules, because the rules are in black and white. You do not ready up until the host says. The same with qualifying. The same with the race. Because it doesn't allow people to load their setups. And yes, people can ready up by accident, but if people ready up on purpose, then that's all. But again, if people ready up by accident, that's still not good. So yes, do not ready up yet, guys. If you're listening, do not ready up, or else. There you go. I hope that was a good reminder for you. Hopefully that was. Hopefully that gives more people a chance to load their setup. And obviously they can start on whatever tire they want, so that's all good. Imagine if we get a wet race around Abu Dhabi. Oh my god, that'll be hell. If we get a wet Abu Dhabi. I just don't want it to happen next week. I'm just trying to remember what the final 2 rounds are. I could get the calendar, because I got it on my stream deck. Singapore and Abu Dhabi. Honestly, I don't know what's worse. Actually, I would rather have rain in Abu Dhabi, because if we have rain in Singapore, it's going to be the longest race ever next week. So, yeah, but it'll be interesting to hear your thoughts in the chat. Would you rather have a wet Singapore or a wet Abu Dhabi? I would rather have a wet Abu Dhabi for the lulz, for the final race of the season. And I know some people that are watching this back are going to kill me. But there you go. So hopefully we should be getting underway shortly as the countdown. Have we been given the call to ready up? Yes, we have, but I think someone's still readied up early. Because I'm sure the countdown came up on my screen before Jack gave the ready up call. Naughty. But luckily most people got their setups anyway. So, let's go. We are about to get going then for qualifying. And we can actually go on board with Sarango this time. And turn number 1 did look a bit skirmish for Sarangos as he makes his way through in towards our Rouge for the first time then. 8th gear, flat out. If I see anybody lifting, then it's going to be quite difficult for them. Into past Radion, in towards Camel Straight and in towards Sycom. Another overtaking opportunity. Brake car for the next corner. And we're getting in towards Fat Mahmoudi, a fast right-hander, leads for downhill section, struggling a little bit. You have to lift up slightly, turning early to the right-hand side into Ravage. This requires good traction and patience as you head towards No Name, the fast left-hander. Keep the car on the right-hand side of the track, turning sharply. Put on one of the most challenging corners on the track, a fast double left-hander. Test quite a lot of grip. Belgium does require low wings around this circuit in towards Fungate and Campus, or Stubble Lane 1 as we like to call it. In towards Paul Frey. He's struggling a little bit there. So let's go on board with the two Haas drivers. Abu first of all. Threw it in towards Blanchimont. I almost forgotten the corner name. You can tell I'm almost losing it, but there you go. But he's going in towards the bus stop where he's going to have to take a very tight line. Slow right, left chicane. Heavy braking, good traction. Avoid the sausage curb, which he does with ease. Up to the line he goes. It's a 1:43.001 for Abu. And that was definitely qualifying. So, Swango interestingly on hards. Maybe he selected that by accident, but there we go. But Abu P1, Dan P2, Jacob P3, Jordan P4. Good lap time from him. Dash P5, Jake P6, Deck P7, Chris Johnson P8, Scottish Goat 9th, Tarango 10th. We've got Gamer James 11th, Jack Cray P12, Dark Shadow P13, and Fergus P14. So that is your order for the qualifying session. And with a 25% race, I'm trying to remember if it was medium hard or if it was soft medium. I'm trying to remember what I did. But let us know your predictions, everybody, on who you think is going to be winning this one. And of course, it's a much sunnier Belgium compared to obviously what we saw in qualifying. And plenty of tyre choices available. Belgium's a track where you can make the tyres last a little bit longer. Sols maybe not so much, but we could see people try and be bold. We'll see. I mean, this could be the first track in the world where we will see people start on different tyres. I think this is going to be my prediction, ladies and gentlemen. My prediction, folks, is we are going to be seeing at least all three different types of tyres being used for tonight's race. I honestly, I think that's what's going to happen. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. Who is ready then for 11 laps around Belgium, the final race of the evening? Thank you for joining us so far. If you are liking the action, please give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and turn the notification bells on so you know when to check out our streams, and you also helps us get recommended every Wednesday evening. So hopefully we should be getting underway very shortly. So we want to get some racing on our hands. So I know there's 9 of you watching in the chat, right? I would like to see the majority of you get your predictions in. I know a few of you'll be listening in the background whilst you're racing, but if you're not racing, get your predictions in. But anyway, here we go then. 5 red lights on your screen right now here at Belgium, and we are underway for the second and final time tonight. A decent start for Abu. Nice running towards turn number 1 for him. Same for the other house driver. Same for Jordan as well. Everyone's made it clean through turn 1. No, it's happened immediately. Jack Craig's had a bit of a moment. And, of course, we've got no safety car. That would, of course, a safety car if we had a safety car enabled. But, yeah, that's Jack Craig out of the race already. He hit the wall. I don't think he made contact. I think he just had a moment himself. But I think I would like to hear from him in the YouTube chat very soon as well. As we've got the two Hasses taking the lead in towards Ocon. But Jake is almost running wide. There's quite a bit of carnage happening in lap 1 already. Absolute crazy. Turn 1, maybe not so much, apart from if your name is Jack Ray, but there we go. So Jake going around the outside in towards I'm losing track of the corners here. Rivage in towards No Name now. Jake doing very well in 5th place. Dash climbing his way up into 6th place ahead of his teammate Deck, which is not ideal if you're Deck in the championship. But unsurprisingly, we've got different mixture of tyres being used for this evening's Belgium Grand Prix. We've got 2 people on the hards, majority on the mediums, and about a few people on the soft compounder tyres, which strongly suggests why Jake did get a very good start on the set of the soft compounder tyres. So we are on the first lap. We're about to start lap 2 as Dash goes round the outside of Jordan in towards the bus stop chicane. Jordan almost lost 1 position there, but he could make it 2 positions if he's not careful from Jake, but he's kept clear of Jake. DRS wide open now. So we'll see what happens. So we got plenty of opportunities for people to make some moves. As we got, I think we got Det that's got past Jake there. Yeah, Dad's got past Jake there. So that was very, very good from Deck there. We know the softs may not last quite a bit of time around this track. We'll see how much people have used the battery as well. So we'll get the telemetry up on your screen. Those are predicted strategies. So it's either soft, medium, or medium hard, or it could be hard soft. You never know. That's the variety of different strategies that you can see today. And with people burning some of the battery already, that could really cost people some time here today. But honestly, anything could happen. Anything could happen indeed. As we're on lap 3 now, as someone has gone into the pits early. That is Jake. I don't think he's got damage. He just wants to get that early undercut. And I don't blame him. Undercut from... Speaking from experience, undercut, I have to say, is probably very, very... Oh, no, yeah, he's got a damaged front wing, so he must have made contact at some point that we didn't see. So, that, honestly, that is an absolute disaster for Jake, but still a long way to go, of course, in this race. As Dash does get past Dan up into 3rd. So Dan already up into 3rd already. No, Dash already up into 3rd already, which shows that he does have the pace to keep up with some of the big guns, which honestly is very, very impressive. Very, very impressive indeed. And the 2 Hasses still running 1 and 2 at the moment on those medium tyres. And you can see for some of them on the tyre front, they're running about 11% on the front, Abu. So he's saving more on the front compared to other drivers who are running about 15% on the front tyres. So I think with some people who are better managing with stuff like that, that could be made quite easier. So I think we're running almost 3 wide into the bus stop chicane. Dash could take advantage, but he's got Dan right behind him. Don't forget, Dan won last time out. Jordan having a good pace as well. A few people running a bit wide on the exit of the bus stop. It's a hard position to get right in towards their source. We could see people braking just a little bit late to try and go for the move. And Jordan fighting the dirty air. Very, very tricky there. which could cost him time a little bit there. Some people, understandably, want to try and stay within the dirty air, outside of the dirty air, I mean, which I think could help them a little bit and keep it at, honestly, a very decent position. And I can't believe we're already halfway through this race already, which is honestly absolutely insane. But, of course, Spa is a very iconic circuit for a lot of drivers. To be honest, I've commentated on more Spa races in the rain than I have in the dry, which is very, very interesting. But Jordan's showing that he has the pace around it. Could he keep it up for the rest of the race? We'll find out. Same with Dan as well. Chris Johnson and Sarango doing quite well. Sarango doing very well on the hard compounded tyres as well. Interestingly, with Jake pitting early, he's gone on the mediums. I'm quite surprised that he's done that. I thought he would have gone onto the hard compounded tyres. But he thinks he could last on those mediums until the end, and honestly, if he does, then fair play. But I think it's going to be a tall order for him as we approach half race distance. By the way, Abu is already pulling away 1.384 seconds over his teammate Jacob right now, which is absolutely huge. And due to the amount of qualifying strikes that he's had this season, Abu is not within championship contention, so unfortunately he can't win the championship, but he is still of course allowed to race, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to have a stream right now, which I think would be an absolute disaster if that's the case. But there we go. And I think quite a few people are starting to find a little bit of their rhythm as well through this race now, as it won't be that long before most people go into the pits. I think most people who are on the mediums might go onto the hards now, because if they stay out a little bit longer, maybe they could have started on the hards like earlier on, but maybe they just didn't want to. Yeah, they just didn't want to. The variety of different strategies that we got today is absolutely insane. So will we see people pit now, or will we see people rate in the next lap? Dan's saving a lot of battery. We're seeing people pitting. Yes! Abby's in. Dash is in. Jordan is in as we approach lap 6. So 3 drivers coming in there. 4 drivers coming in. Will we see a 5th? Interestingly, Scottish Goes pitted from the hard compounded tyres. So he wants to stay on the mediums until the end of this race, which honestly I think is the smartest move, because he has shown that he had the pace on those hard compounded tyres. So I have to say, brilliant job from Scottish Goat there on his pace on the hards. Wardy undercut, doing wonders there. So Abu is your net race leader, who is on those hard tyres. Scottish Goat, unfortunately, does have that penalty to contend with. So that could cost him quite a bit of time. However, let's just hope that he could keep it together for the remainder of this race, because you never know, lots of other people could start to make mistakes. I've just been told by Jack, Abu's had 5 strikes out of 8. Oof. Big oof. Yep, he's DBF1 pace, Jack. He is DBF1 pace. There you go. I could definitely tell you, I think Abu's quicker than me. Without a shadow of a doubt. If I was racing a DBF2, I would struggle beating him. So, there you go. Dan and Chris Johnson in the pits. Loving this commentary. Thank you. With only 14 runners, I swear there was only 15, but with 14 runners and not much going on right now, of course you have to think of random things to talk about. But yeah, thank you for loving my very weird commentary right now. It's alright. It's been a long week. You can probably tell. Interestingly, Jacob's staying out for a little bit longer. I think he's going to go onto the soft tyres, which is what Dan is doing right now. But he's under pressure from Jordan because Jordan is having the fresh... well, not the fresher rubber, the warmer rubber compared to Dan. He's going to have colder tyres. So Jordan is ahead of Dan for now. But how long is he going to stay there? We will see, I think, Sarango go on to a set, I think, of the soft compounded tyres as well. Honestly, if you're not on the soft compounded tyres, if you haven't pitted yet, then you would probably be in a spot of bother, to be honest. There you go. You would be in a bit of bother if you do that. So there you go. The gap, by the way, is coming down between Abu and Sarango. It's 15.9 seconds. It's going to be close on where they're going to come out. But I know Abu's obviously going to come out in at the lead anyway. Quite comfortably, actually. But Jordan's within this train. Dan's within this train as well. Deck is close enough in at that train as well in order to do something about it. This could be quite a closer train than we thought. As Dan goes for... Oh, this is a contact. He's lost his end plate. Made a mistake there. Broke too late. That's disaster. Oh, no. Well, that wasn't... Was that Dan? Or was that Scotty? Yeah, that was Dan. Yes. He felt 40% front left, 6% front right. Oof. Scottish Goat getting a penalty. Not looking good for the Ferraris. Dash has got past Jordan. So now Dash is going to chase down Abu. This could be a very tasty end to this Grand Prix. So, make sure you watch this, because, honestly, I'm liking this. I'm liking this a very entertaining race, and, honestly, I hope you are as well. And we haven't got long until the end of this race already. We've got Singapore and Abu Dhabi next week, which should be a very crazy finale. And don't forget, if they're too quick in qualifying, they'll be out of the championship. And imagine if we have too many quick guys who get qualifying strikes and the ones who are lower down could win the championship. It could still happen. Could still happen with people already on one strike. If people get 2 strikes next week, that's it. They're out of the championship. Things could be cruel, but of course we want to keep things close in DBF2 as Abu had a bit of pressure from Dash, and honestly the camera angle, absolutely awful there. Absolutely awful. As, oh. That was a bit of close contact in the background from the 2 Hasses. Remember, we had a bit of Haas civil war in Monza. Could we have a bit of Haas civil war here? It looks like no. I think it looks like it's all right at the moment. Dan still be able to keep up the pace, even with the damaged front wings, so that's impressive. To be honest, Belgium is a low downforce circuit anyway, so you would... Oh! And as I just said, more contact. Well, that's what you get when you get contact. Oh, honestly, the steward's office is going to be, I think, very busy. Good luck, Jack. So I know you're watching. But we got a few more laps to go, and let's hope these drivers will be able to keep it clean. As Depp, by the way, gets past Jordan. So Jordan's struggling to keep up. Hardly having much battery. Deck having quite a bit of battery, actually. Oh, no. Jordan was saving battery and letting Depp pass. Never mind. As, oh, Jordan got a bit of damage there. That's probably why. Or is he going to go on to a set of the soft tyres? Yep, he's changing his front wing. And quite a few people are starting to make mistakes as we get towards the end, and the ones that are not making the mistakes have been rewarded. So, there you go. We've got pretty much 1.5 laps to go. We hope you enjoyed the action so far. Oh, Jack, yeah, I'm so sorry. Don't blame me, no. I'm the one commentating. I don't have to steward, but you probably would get me to steward, so I won't say too much. I won't say too much. To be honest, quite a few drivers in this race, or even Monza, has been involved in contact. And there are penalty points which could be transferred to Dive Bomb F1 as well. Because quite a few people are racing that as well. So if they're not careful, this could hinder him in the Dive Bomb F1 championship. Because some of them are quicker for Dive Bomb F1 as well. So anything can happen. We are about to start the final lap of this race. Things can change. At a drop of a hat with these 3 drivers. Quite a few penalties as well. Sarango is on for a P2 on track, but he will certainly want to win this one. Abby's on 60% battery. So is Jacob. Sarango's roughly on the same. So the top 3 all even playing going into this. Sarango, though, is on the soft. So he should have the advantage. But he's staying outside the dirty air. Could this hinder him? He's stuck in a DRS train with no room to escape. He's burning a battery just to stay within this DRS train. The 2 Hasses are absolutely flying right now. Dash just get past Scottish Goat. Through it into P5 right now. Dark Shadows got a penalty. So he's down in P13 as well. We've got side by side. We've got one of the Hasses make a mistake. That was Abu on those hard tyres. So the softs runners are definitely working. And there's a bit of a visual glitch, by the way, with Sarango's car, which I'm finding quite funny at the moment. But there you go. That was quite funny to look at. So we got many more corners to go, including this one, Blanchimont. Jacob's got all the battery to use in the world here. But can he keep ahead of his teammate? We could see some late lunges. I will be surprised if we don't see any late lunges. Abu in towards the final corner. And the cameras, I have to go on board, but they make a bit of contact. Side by side across the line. Sarango wins. Jacob second. I think Jacob must have got a penalty at the end. No, he didn't. Sarango did get past Jacob. So we've got Sarango, Jacob, Abu third. A lot of chaos in the last few laps there. Dash fourth, Deck fifth. Chris Johnson sixth, Dan seventh, Jake eighth, Scottish goes ninth, and James in 10th. So that is your order. And we're just waiting, I think, for a few more people to cross the line, including Jordan and Dark Shadow. I think Jordan could get fastest lap here. So why are we still seeing... Oh, there we go. So he's crossed the line. So now we are just waiting for Kaya. Through he goes. And he's used his deployment already. Interesting. So here we go then. That was the end of that one. Started off quiet, but it got quite chaotic towards the end there. I wonder if we're going to see something similar next week. I hope not. I hope we see some more great battles and less drama, but anything could happen here. So race winner, driver of the day, and most overtakes go to Sarango's. Fastest lap and cleanest driver goes to Zek. So we'll run for your order. Sarango P1, Jacob, Abu Dash, Deck, Chris Johnson, Dan, Jake, Scottish Goat, James, Fergus, Jordan, and Kaya. And your one and only retirement is Jack Craig. So that was your order. Thank you so much for listening. And I can't remember at the top of my head who's still in the running with the championship. Don't quote me on it. But I'm almost certain that some people will get knocked out after tonight. But thank you so much for watching. It's been a pleasure. You get to hear my voice once again next week where we cover the championship finale. You probably had enough of my voice already, so you're probably glad that I'll probably be on the track in about a few weeks' time. But it's been great to cover DBF2 again because I missed the last few weeks. One of them due to turnout and one of them because I wasn't here at Legally Blonde. But anyway, thanks for watching. See you next week. Have a good rest of your week, guys. I'm going to have a bit of a lie down. Might have a bit of a shower, actually, because I'm getting absolutely sweaty. But you take care, everybody, and good night.